Hey guys, welcome to Offshoot Comics. Our topic, we're your host, Kirby King.
And Black Superman.
Also known as David Clark.
And Walter Bryant.
And today we're talking about X-Men Gold #1. The horrible controversy that ended a man's career due to sheer stupidity.
Yeah, okay. Now, having read this book, let's just say two things. One, this was nowhere near important enough an issue to do what he did.
Right.
Two, it's nowhere near a big enough issue to take the chance on losing your career. And you have to know that your career was on the line if anybody figured out what this stuff was.
Mm-hmm. And I mean, to be fair, on top of the controversy, it wasn't a good issue.
No, it was terrible. The writing was horrid.
Like, Terrax was back because he needed someone who was dead to make a bunch of dead jokes in the first page. And it was just... They didn't explain what was going on.
And then they over-explained what was going on.
Right.
Like, Kitty Pryde is the leader of the X-Men, and she is telling them point by point what she wants them to do. I mean, and I know that that's happening for the reader and not for the team, but the whole point of reading this is supposed to feel organic. It's supposed to feel like a bunch of people who have fought together before are in the middle of a fight, and therefore they don't need her to tell them blank by blank what they're supposed to happen.
And then, I didn't like when Kitty was giving them instructions. It felt like the first time she did it, it was all right. Second time, she was doing the same exact instructions. Like, all right, our classes, go hold this thing up. Kurt, take me somewhere. You guys, go fly somewhere. It's like, it seemed really not good.
You know what Captain America would have said?
Go do you.
It would have been like, Formation Delta. And they would have all gone to their positions.
Right.
And that would have been the fight.
Yeah, but it was just, I don't know. The issue was already, the issue was bad itself. But then when so the parts that, I mean, if you haven't heard, but you should have heard by now, was there's a page with Kitty Pryde, who's Jewish. Next to her head on the right is a giant 212 on a building in the background that has a verse of the Quran that's not nice towards Jews.
And then on the left side, there's a jewelry store that just happens to have Uri cut off.
Right.
So that it just shows Jew next to her head. And
then on the next page, you got Colossus wearing a white T-shirt that has the letters QS and then some numbers in Bible. It's in verse format, and it's I guess something against Christians or something. And it's just like they were back-to-back pages. They weren't even well hidden. They were obvious intent, like he wanted someone to find those.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure, considering what they are, he did want Muslims to find them. The problem was that, and some comedian said this, but it was actually the truth. Most of the Muslims out there just want to go to work and live. Right. There's only 1%, and it may not even be a full 1%, who are actually causing all the problems. So when you're looking at it, what you're doing is that you took a chance on 1% finding this amusing for the 99 to go rat you out.
Right.
And 99 ratted him out real quick.
And it's just like, that was dumb. That was a dumb move. Because his career is super over.
Yeah. I mean, to the point where he actually announced on his website, my career's over. So...
He just got started, too.
That's terrible. And he's a good artist.
Yeah, and the only thing that only people who actually benefit from this are collectors who realized, because Marvel's gonna reprint these in the trade paperback without those references in them. So that makes these super rare now.
Yeah.
Because they were trying to get as many of those back as possible. The stores I go to out here weren't even having on the shelves. I only got to buy them because they know me and they asked if I wanted it, but they're not even putting it on the shelves anymore. I'm pretty sure Marvel probably told them not to put it on the shelves.
Yeah, they've been pulled. And I mean, for what this is going to cost the guy, it wasn't worth it.
It wasn't worth it. Because you made no change. Nothing's happened except now you're poor.
And you're not going to be able to do this. He's going to be working at Quickie Mart next week.
Of course.
Because there's nothing else for him to do.
Yeah.
I mean...
Some people work their whole lives dreaming on doing what he's doing. He threw it away. That's ridiculous.
It is, and what's really terrible, I have no sympathy.
No, I don't. He chose to do that.
Yeah.
But it sucks that he just threw it away.
No, okay.
It wasn't even a good chapter.
No, it wasn't. It was terrible. It was it was, I guess, a way to set up the new dynamic in the X-Men, which is basically the old
By the
dynamic.
way.
And they pointed that out so many times.
Yeah, like the more things change, more stay the same. Said that twice.
Yeah,
they kept
we're going back to the beginning,
being heroes and stuff, and then Prestige. That's a stupid name. I mean, I'm sure they didn't come up with it in this issue, but that's a stupid name.
Yeah, but it also was pointed out that Kitty Pryde was the one who told her to change her name, and they're like, yeah, well, Kitty goes through nicknames like everybody else goes through underwear.
But still, like, it wasn't good.
No, it was terrible.
Like this is not pro level work. It's not what you think would be pro level work.
Well, okay, it was pro level work because, well, it was pro and they got it published, but but it was not quality work, not at all. And for number one, the only thing that's going to make this comic worth anything is the controversy.
Right.
Because realistically speaking, like, if this was the number one 20, 30 years from now that I was giving off to my grandkids, it's not worth crap. It's a terrible issue.
But now it's worth something.
Yeah. Come to think of it, what was the book that we were just told about? That I had the Todd McFarlane's first Spider-Man.
Right.
The first issue he drew of Spider-Man, and we were actually just told that it was the third issue that he drew that was actually worth more money. So that's what this is basically going to be. Like, X-Men number 1 is going to suck. It's terrible, and when they reprint it, it's not going to be worth anything for anybody because it's a terrible issue. Right. It's going to be when, like, the first issue, when whoever this writer is no longer on X-Men, is going to be worth money.
Well, I mean, he's off it now.
No, that's the
writer. Oh, the writer.
The writer.
Yeah. And yeah, dude, that there's a bad hill to die on. I mean, dang, I don't know what to say on that. I mean, I think like this was one of the few times that people were outraged or something that I think actually was okay with, to be outraged at.
Yeah, I mean, when you consider the ramifications of what it is that he was saying,
right.
I mean, we're already at a place in this country where people don't like each other over stupidity, and so then to fan those flames, to fan some kind, and then again, it's only 1% of them, but there's 1% of them out there that are just they're murdering people,
and they're very loud.
Yes, and you can't go there.
Yeah.
I mean, and this guy turns around and he says he's about love and peace, and he loves this country. Well, then you don't do that.
Right, you don't. And he said that he was protesting in his home country, like a Christian was elected into office or whatever, and he was mad that a Christian was ruling over Muslims and stuff. And it's just like, yeah, but what's that got to do with Marvel Comics? Like, what? I mean, like, seriously, you're not going to radicalize anybody by this comic book.
And even if you were, at the very least, run it by somebody first. Hey, look, would you mind if I put this message from the Quran in this book? Oh, you think this is terrible? Okay, I won't do that.
Right.
Do that in your own book.
Right. Put it in your own book, or shoot, include a Muslim character, maybe have them go, like, have Kamala Khan deal with extremism or whatever in her community or something,
I mean, because realistically speaking, this is X-Men, so they're going to run into bigots all over the place.
Right.
So you could very easily stick that message in there, and then have somebody refute it, and then just say that, well, no, this was up here for me to not preach hate, but to preach tolerance. But no, you're really preaching hate.
Right. And I don't know what was going through his head, man.
I know what isn't going through his head. All those paychecks that he's going to be making.
Yeah, but yeah, guys. So let us know down below if you guys read the issue or what you think about it. And let us know if also would you guys be interested in maybe getting a copy or one of the variants, because we got a bunch. And by a bunch, I mean 4. So yeah, just let us know down below and see if maybe we can get you guys one or something, But until next time, we're your host, Kirby Kid
and Black Superman.
See you later, guys.